Salutare tuturor! Astăzi vom încerca un standard instrument departure în Jersey. Nu îl vom face după un chart, îl vom face după instrucțiunile din lecția numărul 12 din FS Academy Interceptor. By the way, FS Academy Interceptor, după părerea mea, este cel mai bun training regăsit în momentul de față în marketplace-ul din Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, așa că vă sugerez să-l încercați. Poate o să fac un ciclu cu toate lecțiile din el, momentan o să-l încerc pe acesta. Hai să vedem cum merge.
The weather would scupper our plans from the outset if we were flying visually under VFR. Our IFR flight plan, however, permits us the freedom to operate even in the face of inclement conditions, so that is what we'll do. But how do we depart an airport and join the aerial pathways above us? We fly a standard instrument departure, SID. Think of a SID as the on-ramp to the IFR highway. It gets us climbing safely away from the runway and into the gloomy skies above us. After filing an IFR flight plan, air traffic control is fully aware of our intentions. The flight plan includes our aircraft type, registration, destination and intended route. We have selected the ORTAC departure, which is named by the waypoint ORTAC, where the SID ends and the airways begin. The procedure takes us from runway 08 to the Jersey VOR, Juliet Sierra Yankee. We leave Jersey on the radial 004, climbing initially to 5,000 feet, as we set up in the previous lesson. Use the altitude knob to set the altitude bug to 5,000 feet.
Trebuie să setăm altitudinea la 5.000 de feet.
We have tuned, identified and displayed the VOR, set 5,000 feet as an altitude bug, course 004 on the CDI and an initial heading of 083. We will depart runway 08, fly to the VOR using the bearing 1 needle, then leave Jersey on the radial 004. This sets us up for the SID and we are ready to go. Set flaps 10 and will advise ATC that we are ready for departure.
Să deschid și DMU-ul.
Golf Alpha Charlie ready for departure.
Golf Alpha Charlie, line up and wait, runway 08.
Line up and wait, runway 08, Golf Alpha Charlie. Enter runway 08, line up on the centre line and come to a stop. Turn on the landing light and the strobes.
Strobe land.
Da, am deschis și DMU-ul în PFD pentru că în momentul în care o să dea virajul spre stânga, va trebui să știm cu ce distanță înainte trebuie să-l începem, ca să interceptăm cursul 004.
Come to a stop on the centre line. For climb, we will use the same pitch and power targets as before, 7.5 degrees of pitch and full power. We will retract the flaps once above 300 feet above airfield level. That'll be about 600 feet on the altimeter.
Check.
Golf Alpha Charlie, cleared for takeoff, runway 08, wind calm.
Cleared for takeoff 08, Golf Alpha Charlie. We're cleared for takeoff. Rotate to the climb attitude of 7.5 degrees and fly runway heading 083.
Să vedem. Full power. O să folosesc V rotate 55 de knots.
Now maintain this pitch target and keep us on heading 083. This is a climbing scan pattern, prioritizing the HSI.
Și la 600 trebuie să retragem flapsurile.
As we pass 600 feet, retract the flaps. Use the bearing needle on the HSI to fly us directly towards the VOR. Use the DME indication at the bottom left of the HSI to count down our distance to the beacon. We are now 2 nautical miles DME distance from the VOR. We're going to leave the VOR on radial 004, which is set as our course. To anticipate the turn to our outbound radial, and to roughly account for our slant range, we will turn when we get within 1 DME. I'll help you by setting the heading bug. I'll do this for you in most lessons. Now start a left turn to heading 004.
Chiar și așa a fost prea repede. Bună.
We're now on heading 004, flying from Jersey VOR. We're looking to fly the radial 004.
Ok, deci să facem
We have some
corectură.
deviation of the CDI. Make a small heading correction towards the CDI bar to center it. We are positioned on the radial 004 from the VOR as intended. Fly heading 004 to maintain this course. Level off at 5,000 feet, using 10% of the S as usual. The cruise pitch and power settings for the Cessna 172 are slightly different. Use 1 degree of pitch up and 2,400 RPM, giving 100 knots.
Oh, ce m-am dus de sus. Mai avem puțin până la 5.000. Vântul a rămas din spate, deci nu avem o problemă cu deviația de la curs, doar să ținem heading-ul.
Set the pitch at just 1 degree nose up. This is our new straight and level attitude. Accelerate to 100 knots, remembering to trim as needed. And set 2,400 RPM.
Oh, deviem de la curs.
You can already see some of the advantages of our electronic displays. We can set a course, but still continue towards our beacon with the bearing needles. Our DME indication shows us our mileage from the VOR. We will now leave the radial, again using 17 degrees of bank, turn left heading 300.
300. Ah, l-a și schimbat, ce drăguț.
See how the magenta turn rate indication along the top of the HSI shows a rate 1 turn. Now see how both our CDI bar and bearing needles indicate to us that we are diverging from our intended course. We are flying from the VOR, so we are pulling the tail of the bearing needle. The CDI bar represents our selected radial, showing us where we want to be. As we are diverging to the left, the CDI is moving off to the right. Continue on this heading to gain some distance from the VOR. We will now shift our directional reference from headings to tracks. Our heading is the direction our nose is pointing, whereas our track is our path over the ground. Track is the more correct reference for IFR flying, so we'll now begin to use tracks. Rather than the heading indication at the top of our HSI, our track is represented by a magenta diamond. In nil wind conditions such as today, heading and track will be equivalent. Turn right onto a track 049.
049.
This sets us up for a standard 45-degree intercept to re-establish on the radial 004. See how the tail of the bearing needle is being pulled back towards our set course. The needle shows us how many degrees off course we currently are, giving a useful countdown to interception. Continue on track 049 until the CDI bar reaches just half a dot of deflection, representing 2.5 degrees.
Deci trebuie să reinterceptăm cursul pe care eram anterior.
The CDI is starting to move in. When the CDI reaches between the centre and the first dot, we are at 2.5 degrees of deviation. Turn to track 004 once this happens. The CDI is at around 2.5 degrees. Now make a left turn to track 004. And get us re-established on the course 004. We have departed Jersey, flown the first part of a SID, left our radial and then re-intercepted. Things are starting to fall into place. The electronic displays in front of us open up new possibilities and have immediately improved our accuracy and situational awareness. We can now take advantage of a new method of navigation, using the Global Positioning System, GPS, which will be the subject of the next lesson. Well flown.
Not bad.